Before we get started with this video, I just wanted to point out that the P.O. Box is open, so if you'd like to send me a letter or anything, I will read them aloud or show them off on future videos. You can send your letters or whatever you'd like to Chase, Burnout Inc., P.O. Box 19055, Spokane, Washington 99219. Hey guys, this is Chase. This is going to be a That Guy with the Gloves action figure video. So what are we doing today? We're doing basically a gigantic review video. So I'm going to go through and show off a bunch of things that I purchased recently. Going to talk about them, what I like about them, should you buy them, whatnot. Now first things first, we're going to talk about these sweet guardrails that I got from the WrestlingSuperstore.com. These guys also provided my lovely ring and a couple other accessories that I have, and I just really wanted to show these off. So when I was getting ready to make the arena here for BPW and for reviews and whatnot, I decided to make my own guardrails the same way I did for Meltdown and a couple other videos. I didn't really like the Mattel ones. I don't think they stand up very well, and I don't know, just not a fan of how they look. But I wasn't happy with how my guardrails were turning out, so I decided to scrap that whole thing after a couple weeks of trying to get them to look right or get them to look how I wanted them to. And I decided to go old school, and I looked on the Wrestling Superstore, and they had these sweet old school looking guardrails with the kind of fenced lining, and I ordered the black ones because they match my arena. And I really like these things. The little base parts here at the end of the guardrail, you can rotate them so you can pretty much line them up however you need to. I thought maybe there might be a way to attach them together, but as far as I can tell, there isn't. There were no connector pieces in the bag when I got these. But I got a bag of 25 guardrails, and I think they're working out very well. So here we're gonna just show off where they are in the arena. So you can see here, this one right there is just not perfectly lined up, but you can rotate the base, and it goes all the way around there. And then I have that little piece right there. I really like that. It was smart for them to make it to where these little pieces are not stationary. It was smart to make it so that you can rotate them. Very good idea. Also, if you just saw my Demon Finn Balor review, I was going to do a longer animation, but I cut it down. And he was going to see this sign here by Deadpool. But unfortunately I didn't get a chance to show it off, so there we go. Took me a minute to make that little sign. So I just figured, why not? Okay, so now let's talk about what we got going on in the ring here. We've got a couple of caskets. So our first one here on the left, this is the Casket Playset from RingsideCollectibles.com. Now, this thing also does come with a tombstone, a shovel, and a giant urn, but I can't find them right now. I put them in a bag somewhere with the rest of my wrestling accessories, and I spent the last 10 minutes looking for it, so I'll just show you a photo of them here. They're really cool accessories. It makes buying this one a little bit more worth it. This set was 20 bucks, which seemed expensive, but honestly with everything you get with it, I think it's worth it. So it has two hinged doors right here, which again I think is really cool because you can just open up one door. It's like an actual casket. You can connect these together if you want them to open up in one swift motion, just like putting a piece of tape or something on here. There are supposed to be two of these like padding things right here. This is so that when you have a figure inside of it, it doesn't scratch the plastic or, none of the paint rubs off on it. But mine just fell off for some reason. They were like super glued on and it just came off. No idea what happened to it. It's pretty much lined all throughout the inside of the casket as well, and it can fit an Undertaker size figure, no problem. There we go. It's like Mr. Ed. Hey there, Wilbur. Is that the guy's name on Mr. Ed? I don't remember. Okay. About the Undertaker. And I really like the design of this. This casket came in 2 different colors. You had the silver one here, which I ordered because it was the last one in stock. I waited a little too long to get a hold of these things, and I almost missed my chance. And I love the way the silver looks. These added like little designs right here that holds up the bar. I think that's where the pallbearers carry the casket, if I'm not mistaken. Can't really get a figure's hand in there though. But that goes all the way around. No real design on the back here. You see that's made from WrestlingFigures.com, aka Ringside Collectibles. Yeah, it's a great set. I highly recommend it. It's really sad that they're not selling it on the website anymore. I hope they bring it back. In fact, I don't see why they wouldn't sell it anymore. It was really popular. I guess it just sucks when something is, of limited quantity. Now our next coffin / casket is this coffin from the WrestlingSuperstore.com. So this is a very, very cheap, very high quality alternative to the Ringside Collectibles one. This one was about $10, this set was $20. So you don't get as much with it, but I think the value is there. So the design of the casket's pretty freaking cool. It's got the handles on it, a little bit different than what's on the Ringside Collectibles one. And it's just a straight kind of shiny plastic. There's no real paint variations to it. It's just all one solid uniform color. It's pretty good, This thing's been around since 2011. And it's just got a lid that pops off there. It's not hinged or attached to anything. So the inside of the lid is lined with this velvet cloth material. Sort of the same idea what the Ringside Collectibles coffin was doing. But yeah, this is really neat. You can definitely see here that's where they ended the material. You could probably rip it out if you want to. But I really like that they have that in there. Again, it's it looks great and it helps protect the figure. So this thing comes in 3 different colors. There is the gray and purple one, there's a black and red, and then there is a sort of natural wood color with a white lining inside. This is my personal favorite though. Purple always makes me think of the Undertaker. The red and black one's cool too. I might pick that one up as well. So yeah, I highly recommend both of these. If you cannot get a hold of this Ringside Collectibles one, just because they're not selling it anymore and it goes for a lot of money online, I would definitely pick these ones up from the Wrestling Superstore. They're a little bit taller, but again, you can fit just about any figure in there. So we're going to take our Undertaker. And yeah, he actually fits in there a little bit better than the Ringside Collectibles one. In fact, you could probably fit Andre and the Great Khali and the Big Show in there. Yeah, it's pretty dope. Continuing in our random assortment of reviews, we have got the Basic Series Kevin Owens. Now, you guys know me. I'm not much of a basic collector. I only buy them in case they have parts I need, or if the Elite figures have like really messed up heads or something like that. These are pretty much just cheap ways to get a hold of Mattel parts, is to buy some basics. Now, we're going to do a little mini review. Online, I did not like the way this painted head looked. I think the sculpting of it's fine. I mean, I do see a good resemblance to Kevin Owens in the sculpt of it. It's just that the paint job, I think, looks really, really bad. And that's something I'm noticing with a lot of Mattel figures. The spot where they're really, really not getting it is in the eyes and the way they shape the eyebrows. That's something I really want them to improve upon. And I'm noticing that more and more with characters that just have plain kind of stoic faces. Like, for example, the Elite 36 Dean Ambrose, I think is spot on, looks exactly like him, and that's because he's got a facial expression for them to work with. whereas just a blank face for some reason is much harder for them to get right. His shirt looks pretty cool. The paint looks nice, and on the back it is painted as well. That's something I do like about these molded tops, is that they can paint them front and back, whereas the cloth ones, they don't really go that extra route. So Owens has his little steer tattoo. Or not really little, it's kind of encompasses his entire shoulder. And that looks really badass, you know? Kind of reminiscent of what The Rock has. And then he's got his Live Evil tattoo. It says live one way and evil another. It's pretty freaking cool. Now I've seen some people complaining about the arms. They said that the arms are just really too big. And I'm inclined to agree. I think they probably should have used a little bit smaller arms, or maybe sculpted him some new stuff. He's got some black wrist tape. He's got his shorts here. No design on them because he didn't really have any when he first came into NXT. That's what this figure is based on. This was a really neat feature on his articulation, was that you can rotate him at the knee. I thought that was pretty cool. Probably because he has like a really shit knee bend. That's just my guess. His socks are sculpted on. That's a pretty cool feature. And his boots do rotate. And he's got the hinge right there at the feet. His legs can go out and back that far. He's got the waist articulation. His head can rotate all the way around if you want it to. Yeah, this is a really weird review because I'm doing everything backwards. Shoulder rotates, upper bicep rotation, single bend in the elbow, rotates at the wrist, pivots in and out. So it's got all that it's got the articulation that I like in most parts, but because of it being a basic, you got no ab crunch, you got limited articulation in the legs, which is pretty much why this is going to be like a placeholder figure. I thought about making a custom using one of the Usos, but the legs are just too small in the Usos, in my opinion. So I'm just going to use this guy for certain videos, and hopefully the Elite will come out soon. But overall, I know a lot of people complained about it, and I'm going to say it, it's not that bad. For right now, this is a decent Kevin Owens figure. I just really wish Mattel could work on the faces a little bit, especially in the paint department. Sculpt is fine. The sculpt is really getting there. It's not as bad as it used to be, but they really just need to focus on getting that paint right. Alright, now look at these badass machines. These are a couple of 1/12 scale arcade cabinets that I found on eBay. Well, actually I was Googling them and I found a couple of people on Etsy that were making them. And then I decided to just do a quick eBay search, and I found a guy on there named the Bombay Master. I think it's the Bombay Master 05, if I remember correctly. And I really, really like these. You know, arcade machines, they're one of the coolest things to ever exist in the history of ever. And I'm very sad arcades really are a dying thing. I'm glad some people are keeping them, restoring them, or putting them in museums or whatever, just so they don't get destroyed or whatnot. But yeah, they're just some of the coolest things ever. And I've seen a lot of people on Instagram taking photos of, you know, like Marvel Legends or Figmas or WWE figures playing arcade games, and I never knew where they were getting them from. Some of these they just sell on Amazon, and again, I saw the guy online and he was selling these versions of them of actual arcade cabinets that I've played, and I had to get them. I've got two more coming in. I have the Simpsons arcade and TMNT Turtles in Time. I was going after the X-Men arcade, but someone else bought it. So yeah, the detailing on these things are insane. Here's Captain America and the Avengers. I mean, look at that. Exactly how they should be. And the buttons are raised on here too. They're not just, you know, you can definitely see it right there. They look really great. The joysticks, they're all needles, like little pincushion needles. And when I was making my arcade cabinet that I showed off, my fiance actually, I was trying to figure out what to make a joystick out of, and I showed her my idea, and she said, well, why don't you just use these? And she took a bunch of needles from her sewing kit and just stuck them in the arcade cabinet, and I said, wow, that looks really great. So when we saw a guy that actually sells these, and he does the same things, that made her really, really happy, you know. God, I love the way this looks. You even have the little vent speaker things up there. The screen looks amazing. This is actual plastic, and there's like a photo behind there. All really good stuff. I mean, this is held together very, very well. I've actually, unfortunately, dropped this arcade cabinet a couple times. Just bad luck, and so I got a little bit of chipping right there, but it didn't break or anything. It's holding up very well. So they are tough. This Mortal Kombat one, this is what really sold me on this guy, because this just reeks of nostalgia awesomeness to me. I mean, look at this. This just looks so cool. I remember having this game at a gas station that I used to walk to all the time, and I would just play the hell out of it. Alright guys, so that's going to wrap up this video. Thank you so much for checking it out. You can follow my social media accounts down below. You can reach me at thatguywiththegloves@gmail.com. This was Chase from Burnout Inc. I'm that guy with the gloves, and I'll see you next time.
There are no more barriers for me. Tremble before me. I will tear down what separates me. Set me free and become my true self, the demon.
Hey guys, this is Chase. This is going to be a That Guy with the Gloves action figure review. Today we are going to take a look at the WWE Elite Series 41 Finn Balor. This is Finn Balor in